Hello and welcome to the Blue Collar Builders YouTube channel. My name is Andy and this is the place where we help you find purposeful work through blue collar businesses. And today I'm really excited. We are going to take a look at the junk removal business. I've put together a full business plan for you. If you're interested in actually seeing the text, the link below will take you directly down below. In the comment section will take you directly to the business plan I've put together, but wanted to walk you all through it because I think that there's a really interesting opportunity for folks who are interested in, kind of breaking a sweat and going out and doing the work that other people aren't interested in or just can't do. I think that creates a really tremendous business opportunity for you. So the goal of any business is to create value and to serve customers. This one is no different. Idea here is to serve people through helping them get rid of items they no longer want or need. There could be a couple reasons why they no longer want or need them. I mean, people could be wanting to get rid of them because of the physical limitations. Things could just be too heavy for them. They could be getting rid of things because there's emotional baggage or there's lots of different reasons people might need this service, and you as a third party can help solve that problem for them. The first thing, if you're interested in this business and you want to do it the right way, which I would suggest, is you want to set up an LLC most likely. And the reason for that is it limits your liability. So if something were to happen, they're not going to come after your personal assets. So you want to set up an LLC, choose a business name, and then file for an EIN. So that's just a federal ID number. If you're in the US, you'll want to do that through the IRS. All right, so that's kind of the mushy stuff. Let's get into some of the details so that you can make this really practical and get started. So the first thing I want to talk through is just the equipment you're going to need. So the first one is you're going to need some kind of equipped vehicle to haul away the trash. Now, if you don't have a truck or you don't have a dump truck or a trailer, I think don't turn this video off. I think I've got a good idea for you. So what you can do is, if that's your situation, go rent a U-Haul. That's maybe $100 a day or whatever it is, but go rent a U-Haul and go get your first project. I mean, if you're interested in doing this, we have to find solutions. We have to find ways to get this business started. So go rent a vehicle and go serve your customers with it until you have enough money to buy a vehicle or a trailer for yourself. If you do have a pickup truck, that's great. If you have a moving truck, if you have a dump truck, if you have a dump trailer, those are all great options. But if you don't have those things, go rent a vehicle and get started. I think you're obviously going to have a lower profit margin, but that's okay. That's part of getting started. You got to build the snowball, and then as it rolls and as it gets going, it gets bigger and bigger. So that's the goal here, is let's just get started. Let's not make excuses. The next one is you're going to need some work gloves. Obviously, you're going to be dealing with lots of items. You don't know where they've been. You don't know who's touched them. They could have sharp objects. Obviously, heavier items. It's just more comfortable to have gloves. And then the next one is just work clothes. So you want to have good work shoes or boots. You want to have some kind of flexible pair of pants like jeans or some type of pant that gives you flexibility and the ability to move around actively. And then long sleeves. And then the last thing is just trash bags or trash cans so that you can get some of that smaller material, whether it's paper or garbage or whatever it might be. Obviously, I don't want you taking people's trash for them, but inevitably there are going to be smaller items that you're going to want to just throw in a trash bag or garbage can. And you don't want them loose in your vehicle. So you want to be able to contain those so they don't get all over the place. All right, so that's it for equipment. I think that gets you pretty covered and get you started. The next part is the marketing. This is a really important part, and I think there are lots of different ways you can go about doing this. I think there are some really obvious first ones that will hopefully get you your first customer, and that's really the goal with this, is we want to get your first customer, we want to get you some experience, we want to get you some confidence, and we also want to get you a customer testimonial so that they can share that with other folks. So the first thing I would do is reach out in Facebook groups. Go to targeted neighborhood groups or moms groups and just say, hey, I'm offering this junk removal service, and even if you want to go above and beyond, you could offer your pricing, but you could also say, I'm happy to do a free estimate, something like that. Make it really easy for someone to say yes to, and just start posting in neighborhood groups. I think you'd be surprised who might think, yeah, I didn't realize I needed that, but since they brought it up, I guess I do need it. So I think that would be a really good place to start. The next one is reach out to family and friends, see if anybody has junk that they've been wanting to get rid of that maybe you could help them get rid of. The next one is a little bit more of the next step. It's not necessarily, this is not necessarily for the exploratory phase, but this is once you've decided, yes, I want to do this. I think I understand what it takes, and I think I can do this profitably. Then I would set up your Google My Business page. And the reason for that is just simply people are going to Google and they're typing junk removal service Nebraska, junk removal service Cincinnati, junk removal business Ohio, wherever it might be. People are going to Google to find that, and really you want to show up in those listings as they're going through. Once you have your Google My Business page set up. In order to do that, you're gonna need a few things. You're gonna need an address, you're gonna need a phone number, and you're probably gonna need a simple website. Google just likes to have those things to verify that you're a real listing. And so what I would tell you is make a really simple one-page website. It doesn't have to be anything major. It can just have your business name, a picture, and your contact information. And then what I would also do is use your home address if you don't have an office, and use your cell phone if you don't have a work phone. Once you get this Google My Business page set up, I think it's really important then once you start getting a few customers, you want to drive them towards giving you 5-star reviews. So you want to make sure that you're giving them a really high quality experience so that at the end of the experience you can say, hey, would you just take a minute to write me a Google review? It's just a way that helps other people find me, helps me find additional customers. People will do that if you give them a good service. But what I've also learned is if you don't ask for it, they won't do it. Typically people will only write reviews when they have something to complain about. So you have to ask. If you know you're giving a good service, you need to ask them for that review. All right, Google My Business, really important. Also, another thing, if you're not sure how to build a website, if that overwhelms you, you can go on Fiverr, you can go on Upwork, and you can find somebody who can do it. I think it probably costs you $100, and you can even do that after you land your first couple customers through Facebook groups or family connections or friend connections. You know, that doesn't necessarily have to be something you do on day one, but I would recommend doing it at some point once you decide, yes, I want to move forward with this business. The next one is as you get customers, I think it's really valuable for you to start collecting images. So take an image when you first walk in and you see junk everywhere, and then take an image once it's removed. That's obviously a clean, fully empty room or whatever it is that you're hauling the junk away from. So before and after images I think are really important. The next one, this is a little bit of maybe kind of a more nerdy thing or techie thing. I don't know. It's something that I've done for businesses and I think it works, is go to Google, and in Google you can set alerts. So you can set search alerts. If you're not sure how to do that, just find a YouTube video, say how to set up Google search alerts, and then I'm sure there's a tutorial on how to do that. But what I would suggest is putting in quotations the two words "is closing" and capital A&D your city. So is closing and Cincinnati, is closing and Lexington, is closing and Cleveland. Wherever you're living, wherever you live, do that. And then what will happen is every time a business closes in your area and the news reports it, that will send you an alert saying, hey, this business just closed. Then what you want to do is call that business and say, hey, I'm so sorry to hear that you all went out of business. I know that the transition process can be really difficult. Do you all need any help in getting some of your extra stuff out of the building and removed? And that's a great opportunity for you to come in and help someone who's already feeling like, wow, this is overwhelming, I just lost my business. You can actually provide a service for them that is helpful, expedites that process for them, which I think is super valuable. The next one is go make connections with realtors. Realtors are in the business of helping people buy and sell homes. You're probably more interested in their customers who are selling homes, because people, when they move, they realize that there are things that they don't want to take with them, and that is junk. They need someone to remove that junk, and a realtor can be a great resource for you, referring you to new business. So someone who's selling their house, they're ready to go, they've gotten all their furniture, all the things they want to take with them, and they're at a place where they're exhausted and they're really just kind of overwhelmed and saying, I don't want to deal with this junk, I just want to pay somebody to take it. Great opportunity for you to step in and fulfill that need for them. The next one is simple. It's a pretty traditional idea. It's just putting yard signs. Go find an affluent area or an affluent neighborhood that has disposable income and probably lots of things, and go put your yard signs all over different intersections and make it very easy to read. Don't put a lot of information on there. Just say junk removal, whatever your business name is, and your phone number. Make it super simple for them to contact you. And then the last one that I have here, I think there are more. So if you're interested in more ideas, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'd be more than happy to help you brainstorm some more ideas. But the last one here is garage sales. So I think when someone is setting up a garage sale, they're very excited to get rid of stuff. There's that incentive. I want to get it out of the house. I want to get it out the door, and I want to go maybe make a little bit of extra money with my garage sale. Well, at the end of the garage sale, you're exhausted and or kind of over the process because you spent all your time and energy selling your goods, and the reality is not every garage sale sells out. And so this is a great opportunity for you to step in and say, hey, I know that the whole garage sale process is exhausting. At the end of the garage sale, if you guys have stuff left, I'd be more than happy to come pick it up and take it away for a fee based off of the items that you have. I believe that someone at the end of a garage sale who just made money is probably willing to say, I just made $500. I'm happy to pay somebody $100 to take the rest of this stuff and just be done with it. That's a $400 profit for me, and I don't have to deal with taking the stuff to Goodwill or figuring out where to put it or even worse, continuing to keep holding on to it. So garage sales, I think, are a really good opportunity. And if you need additional ideas, I'm more than happy to help you think through that as well. The next one, we're talking about the sales process, kind of identifying what pricing might look like. So what I would always recommend is go look at your local market and try to understand how they're pricing their services. Are they pricing it by the item? Are they pricing it by the room? Are they pricing it by the type of item? And I think you probably want to really understand exactly how they're doing that, because as we'll talk later, when you're taking this stuff to a landfill or a dump, there are different prices on different types of items. So you want to know exactly how they're pricing that, and you also want to know what your landfill prices are, but we'll get into that a little further down. The next step is take into consideration large items. If there are a bunch of large items, you need to consider, hey, this is going to take me more time, it's going to be more difficult to dispose of, and probably more expensive to dispose of. So you need to take that into consideration. If there's a room full of a lot of furniture or appliances, you need to probably price that a little higher than if it's just a bunch of knickknacks and clothes or something like that. What I've found, and this is not a set price, but just to give you a general idea, what I found is that the average cost for this service is about $40 to $60 per cubic yard. So you need to figure out how many cubic yards can I get in my truck or my trailer or whatever it might be, and then you need to identify, I can haul, $500 worth of junk in this setup that I currently have, and that'll give you an idea what your pricing might be. But please research that. It varies by city, and it also varies by the item or the material that you're hauling away. All right, the next one is our cost. So here are some things that you need to consider when you're pricing, or when you're setting your prices. You need to consider your drive time. Is the dump close? The landfill that you're taking the junk to, is it close to where your project is? The next one is your truck. You're going to inevitably have repair expenses if you own the truck. You're going to have potentially rental expenses if you are renting the truck. Then you're also going to have insurance costs. You're going to have gas costs. You're going to have your equipment that we talked about earlier. And the last thing is a landfill. When you go to a landfill, they typically charge you a dump fee to dump your items. So that's just another cost that you need to take into consideration. So now we're at the junk phase. Where do you take the junk? So once you get all of someone's junk, what do you do with it? Obviously, you don't take it back to your place. I think there are two options here. The first one is you take it to a landfill, and the easiest thing to do is go find a landfill by just Googling it. A lot of them aren't listed. Some of them are, so you might get lucky, but a lot of them aren't listed. And so what I would tell you is, if you can find a landfill that's close, great. Go to them and get a pricing sheet from them. Ask them kind of what their prices are per item, and they typically will have a pricing sheet that they're happy to give you. If you can't find a landfill, don't quit. I think that the thing that you should do then is you should look for trucking companies in your area. Typically, trucking companies know where all the dump sites, all the landfills are, and they can guide you based off of the address that your project is at, and they'll give you the ones that are closest, and then you can go to those and you can try to get those pricing lists. What I would recommend is whenever you're looking for a landfill or a dump site, you want to try to find the place that is closest to you so that you can save on time and on fuel. I think that's really important. It'll help drive your profitability. Now, the other option that I think you have is you can try to resell the junk that you're getting rid of. I think oftentimes you'd be shocked what people throw away, and that could create great opportunity for you to go and resell it. And I think there are 3 easy places: Facebook Marketplaces, one, Craigslist, and then OfferUp. I think if you find some stuff that has value, whether it's furniture or even if it's video games or technology, whatever it might be, oftentimes you can sell those on those sites and make a profit on top of the profit that you're already making. So I think that's a really cool way to do it. And then the last thing is just, it's not super exciting, but just the software to kind of manage your business. I love using QuickBooks for my businesses. I use it for accounting, invoicing, insurance, and then hiring and firing. They have a tremendous platform and it's very self-explanatory. And then the last thing is a way to manage customers. I would recommend using Trello or Google Calendar. Those are both free, and it helps you manage your schedule, but also it can help you manage customers through prospective phase, through the estimating phase, through the scheduling phase, and then through the completion phase. And it's a super simple, free way to do it. So I hope that this is really helpful for you all. I'm excited that you're considering starting a hauling junk removal business. And if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out in the comments. I'd love to help you get started. And once again, if you're interested in the full business plan, just click the link down below and it'll take you directly to it. So I'm really excited for you, and I want to see you be successful. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. I'd love to help. Peace.